This is Cheryl Morgan at the Australian National Science Fiction Convention in Adelaide, and I'm here with Pat McNamara and Michal Dutkiewicz. Mike is the artist guest of honour, and the reason I'm talking to them, apart from Mike being the artist guest of honour, of course, is because they are here with this fabulous book, which I'm just going to focus on here.
And no one's going to pick it up.
As you can see, it's got a very splendid cover. It is also very large. There's Pat's hand, and
thickness to show the
there's it's a big, thick
approximately
book.
3 kilos.
Approximately 3 kilos in weight, and it is full of illustrations. So Pat will just show us some of the stuff inside. This is all Michal's art and Pat's words.
And our layout.
And the pair of them working together on the layout. Let's just make sure we get everything in here. As you can see, it's a really lavishly produced book. And I'm pleased to say it is available in the UK and the US. So the title of the book is?
The Last Realm, Book 1, Dragonscarpe. Not scape, some people say scape, it's scarp. As in an escarpment, you know.
I'd spotted that. And can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it's a whole world creation exercise, right?
Yes, we were given a very basic brief involving certain core characters that were in some ways just archetypical, sort of not fleshed out characters. And these were the core part of the property that our publisher was trying to develop. And we had virtually carte blanche with developing the world and how and its mechanisms and its functions. So, being my first real major book, illustrated book outside of comics or anything else, I just really was allowed to go to town and work with actually even the physics of the place itself and the cultures. And we were inspired by every archaeological and historical period and technology. You know, as well, you know, so there's all sorts of things that we delved into that we weren't really so much constrained by traditional high fantasy or any other genre fantasy. So it may appear on some levels to be heroic fantasy like Conan, but some of the other aspects of it are actually very different and subtler and richer. So
I call it cinematic fantasy.
Yes, that's
and you have a dinosaur-like creature here.
That's called a Fullion, and it's a plated reptilian-looking beast that also has mammalian characteristics, and it was inspired by art on the walls of Babylon and Assyria and places like that.
And may or may not have been named after Nathan Fillion. That's we won't go there.
Yeah, right.
I love drawing that girl. She's using some sort of fire elemental power to create handholds in a cliff she's climbing on the Dragonscarpe. So
yeah, I've noticed as the Pat's going through the book that there are distinct characters here. You can recognise them from picture to picture.
Yes. But we're not. One thing we didn't want to do is to limit the characters to one costume, as though they, would smell to death after a couple of days. You know.
Right. Yeah. It's not like comics where people wear the same outfit all the time.
Yes. How does that work?
I guess one of their superpowers is to not sweat.
They have that special molecular.
Push all of the scents out of the clothing or something. That one's not so. It didn't work. It wasn't so successful. Don't dwell on that one.
Okay, so Pat, can you tell me a little bit about the story?
It's a world which has been isolated from change, if you like, and it's developed its own because of the structure of the world that we've created with the series of realms where it's very difficult to move in between them. It's become very fixed in its societal structures, and
fell on the blood for a bit.
And what happens is that, of course, like all of these things, the foundation which it is built on is a lie, and someone in the realms discovers this, and the person who does discover this is not happy with the way that things are, and they, of course, being the villain, exploit this to their own ends, which leads to great chaos and lots of danger and excitement and action and heroics as people try to save what's there, but at the same time, it's we try and play with the idea that just because the people who seem to be
blood, Mike. You're fascinated by blood, aren't you?
No.
Actually, that could have been my fault in the way that
He
it was
writes
written.
very bloody stories. You know this.
Yeah. We wanted to play with the idea that
Do we want to talk about the blood from this one?
no.
Okay.
No. Play with the idea that
This was inspired by the famous artist Lawrence Alma Tadema.
the idea that the heroes are actually fighting, the villains are actually fighting for truth. They actually know the truth of what has happened, and they are using that to cause great destruction, whereas the heroes are actually fighting for a system which is based on a lie. And through the course of the series, without giving away too many spoilers, their notions of what they've been fighting for is all turned about. And we have a series of our four main
Favourites.
female characters, the four elementalists who we've seen earlier, are brought in to try and solve a problem, but they are part of the lie that was told long ago, not them specifically, but their ancestors, and so they get caught up in the uncovering of this lie, and part of their journey, if you like, is to rectify the past dangers. These are the four characters. They learn of this this great deception that was made a long time ago, and it's their journey of discovery and trying to come to terms with the fact that they aren't actually on the side of right. They've been fighting on the side of wrong. So we're trying to play a lot with the concepts of heroism and good and bad, and not necessarily evil as such, but the reasons that why people fight, and what makes someone a good person in a story, and what makes someone a villain in a story, and it all comes down to a fairly subjective viewpoint.
Well, you know, that all sounds like good stuff, and
Yep.
that's the way I like my fantasy to be written, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Within that context,
Spiky bits.
we've tried to make something that is a lot of fun. It's very, as we said, it's a cinematic fantasy from the point of view that we wanted to do something that's fast-paced. It's fun to read. It's excitement. There's lots of action and intrigue and drama, and I mean, I come from a TV and film background, so a lot of my pacing in the writing is done from the idea of the way that you pace a TV show. You've got to hit certain notes and dramatic points as you tell your story. So you've got to have your ups and your downs and your ups and your downs, and there's sort of like a flow to the drama that is being told.
Okay, so just looking through this book, it's really so lavish. I'm sure that the thing people are going to be asking themselves is, am I going to be able to afford this thing?
Yes, you will. It is. The book has been sold for only $40, and that's
$40 Australian?
$40 Australian and $40 US.
Okay.
At the time of release, the $2 were equivalent value, or very close to.
Now it's rather better value for the Americans.
Now it's better value for the Americans, yes. And it is available in the US, the UK, Australia, and of course it's through Amazon or any of the other larger,
One of my favourites.
the worldwide bookstores, if you like.
Nice little battle going on there.
You can order it from anywhere, really.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for telling me about the book, guys.
You're not meant to see that bit. That's a spoiler.
Where's the big battle scene?
Let's
Where's our big
let's
battle
make
scene?
sure we get the big battle.
There's our
scene.
big glossary,
Before we
huge kick-ass
finish.
glossary.
There's a big lexicon at the end because, being a new world, we use lots of new words and new terminologies. And
Sorry, that's a spoiler. He doesn't want me to show you that.
don't see the
Too late.
spoilers.
Too late.
There.
There we are. There's the big battle scene. So that's a good thing to finish on. And thank you very much, guys.
No worries. Thank you very much.